tough times, right? I mean, some people will admit it, and some people won't. Uh, like people will say that they're happy, and they'll post stuff on social media and look how good my life is. But you start peeling back the layers on a lot of people, and there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of struggle, and every single person, every single family has it. Um, but that's life, and it's always been what I've always been taught. It's how you react to it. It's how you react to issues. And so I've always done my best to react to things in a way where keep your head up, and you keep moving forward. And yeah, my biggest thing's always just been my family.
You guys, how long were you guys training and getting ready for it?
Well, originally we were training. So go back to 2018, we competed for the first time, as we talked about. That was in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and that was in 2018. We placed sixth place. We had tryouts for the new team. There was 3 spots, so we had tryouts here at Taylor's Market, and we had multiple people try out, 3 which made the team, and then COVID happened, and we were on a roll. We were practicing once a month, and we had a pretty solid team. We had everything kind of lined up, and then as soon as COVID hit, we kind of stopped practices. Going back to, I think our last practice was February of 2020.
Wow.
So after that, we didn't practice for over a year.
Yeah.
And then since then, we had three. Let me see. We had 3 people drop out, and so then we had to form a team again, and then here we are with this team, and we got together and we started practicing in January.
Did it seem like you were cramming everything? And
It did, yeah. 9 months is, it seems like a long time, but it really isn't. One of the biggest challenges that we have in the United States is getting the team together. Obviously, we're a very large country, and our teammates have to come from New York, they have to come from Texas, they have to come from Utah, Southern California, but it's a huge commitment, and they were paying out of pocket to fly here, which is very, very costly, leaving their businesses, leaving their friends, leaving their family, leaving their work. That's one of the biggest struggles is you got to be committed to the team. Like people see us cutting meat, and they see us bonding, and they see us at Golden One. They're like, oh, I want to do that. I can do that. Or I would love to do that. But once we tell them the commitment, it's a whole nother story.
Welcome back, everybody, to the NorCal X YouTube channel podcast. I have with me again Paul from Taylor's Market, fresh off his competition at the World Butcher Challenge, right?
Yep.
Paul, is it World Series or World Butcher?
World Butcher Challenge.
Was it the beginning of September or end of August?
It was September 3rd.
And you guys, how long were you guys training and getting ready for it?
Well, originally we were training. So go back to 2018. We competed for the first time, as we talked about. That was in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and that was in 2018. We placed 6th place. We had tryouts for the new team. There was 3 spots. So we had tryouts here at Taylor's Market, and we had multiple people try out, 3 which made the team, and then COVID happened, and we were on a roll. We were practicing once a month, and we had a pretty solid team. We had everything kind of lined up, and then as soon as COVID hit, we kind of stopped practices. Going back to, I think our last practice was February of 2020.
Wow.
So after that, we didn't practice for over a year.
Yeah.
And then since then, we had 3 people drop out. And so then we had to form a team again. And then here we are with this team, and we got together and we started practicing in January 2022. The moving forward, I think after this competition that was held at Golden One, we're going to have a lot more people trying out, and the good thing is we'll have 2 spots available for the apprentice butcher, and 2 spots available for the young butcher. And then we will need a team of 6 for the competitions, which is probably going to be held every 3 years now. Traditionally, it was every 2. So the thoughts are now 2025 would be the next World Butcher Challenge. But we're expecting a pretty big turnout for tryouts this time. So.
What were some of the challenging things for you and your team? I know we're here right now in Taylor's backyard. They have not a backyard; it's a garden, right?
Yeah.
And it's nice. This is a nice little spot. Paul wanted to make it look better, and I thought it looked fine as where we are. We got what kind of tree is this?
Well, we got some gypsy peppers. We have some heirloom tomatoes. We have some kumquats. We have Meyer lemons. We have a couple lime trees.
Was this all for the restaurant?
It was, yeah. And we have a new guy that started about 8 months ago, and he enjoys this, so we kind of let him have free reign and grow whatever he wanted to grow. So
this is badass. I'm gonna take video of it and like show the audience like the backyard. I remember when I was at Thunder Valley, they had something similar, just herb garden, not this big, but this is nice. I like this.
Yeah, no, we got some lavender, and then we have some cherry 100s, and then we have oh gosh, what else we got? Yeah, we were growing a bunch of sunflowers over there. And then behind the sunflowers, we have a bunch of bees. So
yeah, this is amazing garden back there. True farm to fork business and restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, don't worry.
I was just I love it back here. It's amazing. Taylor's always has different things that I don't know, but I mean you've been here. So with the Butcher Challenge, what were you excited about? What were some of the challenging things? You had almost a year, right? 9 months to prepare.
Yeah.
Did it seem like you were cramming everything? And
it did. Yeah. 9 months is, it seems like a long time, but it really isn't. One of the biggest challenges that we have in the United States is getting the team together. Obviously, we're a very large country, and the our teammates have to come from New York, they have to come from Texas, they have to come from Utah, Southern California, but it's a huge commitment, and they were paying out of pocket to fly here, which is very, very costly. Leaving their businesses, leaving their friends, leaving their family, leaving their work. That's one of the biggest struggles. Is you got to be committed to the team. Like people see us cutting meat and they see us bonding and they see us at Golden One. They're like, oh, I want to do that. I can do that, or I would love to do that. But once we tell them the commitment, it's a whole nother story. We do pay for their hotels. Cutting meat, that's usually what we always tell people. That's the easy part, but like the finances and then just getting here, the flights there's a lot of flights that have been canceled, and these guys are coming in practice late, so the travel situation has been a challenge. And there's countries that we are competing against that are smaller than California, so these guys can get together quite frequently and we can't. So that's one of the biggest problems, like the challenges that we had. As far as like the exciting part, for me personally, just because I was born and raised here in Sacramento, the being able to cut meat in front of my friends and family. Because in Belfast, I went solo, went by myself, because I had a young family at the time, and so my wife stayed here and watched the kids. But seeing my kids and hearing them scream in the stands at Golden One was pretty special, and seeing my wife there, and then my mother was there, and my brother, and then like all my close friends. So that, like, to me, that was the cool part. That was very special. It might not ever happen again. So like that holds tight to my heart. But just competing. I like competing. When I was younger, I was an athlete. Did track and field in college, played high school football, baseball. I was always busy with sports, but the competition aspect, just competing against other people that are passionate as you, as butchering, that's special.
Yeah, I think it's a great event, just because it's showcasing this dying art that I think since COVID, it feels like it's coming back stronger and better because I don't know about you, but because we buy factory processed meat, and we were so close to going to organic because the prices were so high.
Sure.
It was at $9 a pound.
Yeah.
Wholesale, right? And we were so close to it, and we couldn't. It's a different kind of customer up there. They make less money. They complain about everything.
Sure.
So it's a challenge, right? Because you're trying to do the best thing, but sometimes people don't have the means, to purchase grass fed,
Yep.
Organic meat, and but I noticed that a lot of like smaller farms that kill on site and everything, they were selling out and I'm
Yeah.
sure here, like today's the second, we're here in Taylor's. You're saying how busy it is. You're all sweaty.
Yeah.
You're busy, and that's good, right? It makes a day fly by. You want to see things like that, right?
Absolutely.
What do you think is bringing more eyes to the butcher industry? Do you feel there's a resurgence in the whole industry? Do you see it like with other people around the country?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, ever since COVID happened, we saw a lot of new faces. This goes back to March 2020. And as soon as there was a lockdown here in the state, and then everyone were wearing masks, and this is pre-vaccine. We had a lot of new customers. There was 3 or 4 weeks of panic buying. Never seen anything like it, and probably never will again in our lifetime. We didn't have time to marinate. We didn't have time to garnish or value add. It was basically, back in the old days, it was like we had chuck roast, we had whole chickens, we had salmon fillet, we had ground beef, chicken leg quarters, like boneless pork chops, and we didn't have a lot. We were buying as much as we can to please everybody. But when we found out that there was a lot of new customers and we were able to fill everybody's order and needs, I think that helped being a little small butcher shop as we are, that people can go to us and see us face to face and and tell us, say, I'm on a budget. This is what I can afford. This is what I want. And I have a family of 4. I have a family of 8, or it's just myself. But seeing that surge, seeing that buying power come back in, and we were, like I said, able to fill everybody's order. That made a big difference. And every butcher shop and every person I talked to all the way across our nation was doing the same thing. Like, everybody was slammed, everybody was busy. And, it kind of got the attention of people that are normally shopping, at a Costco, at a Save Mart, at a Rayleigh's or Bel Air. But, we had a lot of new customers. And because of that, we have a lot of regulars now that.
So you guys were able to retain those customers, a lot of them?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so that helped out. But there's so many good butcher shops around that are up and coming. There's a lot of great men and women out there that are passionate about butchering, and they're putting it all out there. They're opening up. I mean, they're opening up new shops. They're opening up multiple shops. They are putting every penny they've ever had into a business, which is very risky. But that just shows you how passionate a lot of butchers are across this nation.
Yeah. I've been noticing that too, but I'm also seeing a lot of restaurants close. Like, I recently told you I'm working in Auburn transportation department for the tribe that owns Thunder Valley Casino.
Yeah.
It's an easy job. Just driving around, doing simple things gives me more energy to focus on this and, really focus on it and have it grow. And just being up there, I've seen a Mexican restaurant that was there for like 50 years in Loomis that is done,
Wow.
and because I'm looking for offices, and you see all these retails everywhere, everywhere they're all going out. I know the kitchen here recently closed, right?
Yeah. For us, it was staffing. Staffing's been a nightmare.
Since the beginning of COVID, or kind of the last 2 years?
Yeah, I would say the last couple of years. Just staffing in general. A lot of people got laid off during COVID, and people were being basically paid to stay home. And, that kind of helped and hurt people. The people that enjoy working couldn't wait to come back, and the other half were like, wow, I can get paid to stay home and do nothing. So then in my eyes, when I saw people come back wanting to work, they wanted way over what they should be getting paid.
And they're not qualified.
They're not qualified.
Yeah. No, I had the same issue, Paul. Fuck, man. It was tough because it was like 12, 16-hour days. I took whoever, even though, they would call in and not come into work or be like, the people you never want to hire.
Yeah, exactly.
You did not have a choice.
No.
And this is things that people don't see, people don't understand. And I think it's important to people to understand, like, we're all human beings, we're all doing our best thing, and it's the small businesses that need more of the support than the big ones. Like the big ones, I can say some of them care, but I don't really think they do, because it's all about profits, like shrinkage, right, Paul?
Yeah.
People don't know about shrinkage, about the instant you cut that beef, that lamb, anything, you're beginning to lose weight, you know? And people don't see that. I tell people all the time, go to Costco or Sam's Club or whatever and pick up your meat and weigh that tampon. It's a pound,
exactly.
It's 2 pounds. You're getting charged for that.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that,
No, totally. Yeah, not like the restaurant business, just watching it here at Taylor's. There's just so much to it, right? The food cost went up. You have insurance, you have workman's comp, and the wear and tear on equipment, plumbing issues, electrical issues, refrigeration issues. There's just so many costs behind it that, at the end of the day, with food cost and lack of employees, you're just not making money. And if you're not making money, there's some people like, will hold on to a restaurant because of passion or ego. And some people will just throw their hands up and say, we gave it a great run. We didn't make any money, but we did our best. It's time to close.
So you said there's more shops opening up. Any in the last year that you've seen that you know anybody? Or has it kind of been because of COVID or?
Yeah, I mean, it's here and there throughout the United States.
Okay.
There's just small butcher shops here and there, but just
not really California, right? Because it seems it's tougher here, right?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm hearing word of there's interest of a couple of people want to actually start butcher shops here in Loomis. I know there's a person talking about opening one in Loomis, one talking about in Auburn. There's a guy down south, Meat and Essentials. He just opened one down south, so that's one that's kind of that's in California but down south. But yeah, they're popping up here and there. But it's good to see. It's
yeah, it's good to see the industry grow, and I think pretty much every town should have a little butcher shop, because I know I don't know if you bought the Country Butcher in Linda.
Yeah.
So I think was he a teacher? Do you know him personally?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
No.
So I've known from like customers who've come in and have told me because I've tried to reach out to him, but I'm sure he's swamped and he's busy. And I've been in there and I've bought some stuff and everything's frozen. So that's smart, because that's the best way to kind of not lose money, right? And people don't understand, like, oh, everything's frozen. I'm like, well, it's pretty hard to make profits, and I think that's a smart move to vacuum seal and freeze everything that he's doing, And he says I know other people who've tried to get animals butchered there and they can't, because he's backed up 3 to 6 months, and that's good to know. Good to hear at a small mom and pop shop, and I think. I don't know 100%. I've heard that he was the teacher at Chico State. They had like a butchering department, but I'm not 100% sure.
Every butcher shop has its special little niche. It's like they know who their customer is. And that's very important. There's a lot of shops like us where we don't freeze or cryovac anything because we know our clientele. We know. We base everything off of weather and holidays, day of the week, right? First of the month, we're going to be busy. If it's 114 here, we're going to be dead. But like this nice fall weather, like it's still relatively warm, so people are cooking a lot and they're still barbecuing. So you kind of just base butcher shops, smart butcher shops, know their clientele, and knowing their clientele and how to set up their case is a huge thing.
So how do you plan everything out depending on whether if it's going to be a warm winter? Is it more fish fillets, just more steaks, less braising, less
it's funny. I mean, there's certain things that sell in our store and there's certain things that don't. It's in the 90s right now and it's October 1st. So, we sold tons of tri-tips, marinated tri-tips, ribeyes, New York fillets, the same.
Sausages?
We sell tons of sausages. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just made yesterday 260 pounds of sausage because also we have Oktoberfest. Oh. So a lot of sausage and beer, right? So we have that going on. But we kind of loaded up pretty heavy, and then we're going to make another probably 200 pounds early next week just to get ahead of things.
That's pretty much it. Weekly, the sausage?
No, that's a little bit more than average just because of Oktoberfest. Okay. But I'll tell you what, as soon as the weather cools, and we had rain, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that was awesome. But as soon as the weather cools, where it's like in the 60s or low 70s, you're talking oxtail, beef shanks, short ribs, stew meat, chuck roast, clod roast, and people can't wait. That's when we start selling tons of lamb shanks, lamb necks, lamb shoulders. Braising, slow cooking, right? And then we start grinding chili meat because everybody wants to make chili and watch football on Sunday. So
okay. Did you guys do anything for Farm to Fork? Usually there's a big thing here in Sacramento.
Yeah. So Danny Johnson and I, we just did a lamb demo last week at Farm to Fork. We were on the Smud stage. We did it last Saturday. It was a great turnout, and we broke a whole lamb.
Nice.
We always we enjoy. We go back and forth between beef and lamb.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do a hands-on hog competition with three local chefs in Sacramento, and then Danny was going to be. He was always the MC, and I was one of the judges. And we should do that with all the chefs downtown. That was awesome, but of course, with COVID and everything kind of shut down, we stopped doing that. And now Visit Sac, and they put on the Sacramento Farm to Fork Festival. They do a chef competition now, so that's good. But yeah, it's always fun to do those demos and get to show people certain cuts that they normally don't see.
So with you being competitive and everything, do you still work out? How do you avoid injury or anything? Because it seems like I know older chefs and stuff, and they're like their shoulders are all screwed. They're getting surgeries.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I just try to stay in shape. I got a couple tricks up my sleeve. Like, I wear clogs, which are good on my feet. Long days, I'll wear stockings on my calf muscle, and they'll go up right below your knee, and it helps with circulation. I always wear pants anyways, but those compression socks work great. The clogs, eating healthy, right? Just staying hydrated is huge. We have to remind each other in the holidays when we're working 16-hour days, hey, make sure you guys drink water. But staying hydrated and just staying active. I got 2 young kids, so they're always moving and grooving. So
So you don't do any like morning workouts, anything for your shoulder mobility or anything?
Maybe a couple quick stretches here and there, but no, not really. Yeah, we actually, one of our customers, he's a kinesiologist, like chiropractor guy, so we can go over there anytime and he'll adjust me. So
nice.
That kind of helps. But I go to him maybe once a month for a quick adjustment, and that seems to help me out.
So it sounds like because you're constantly moving and doing different things and you're standing, like you're keeping like everything pretty functional, right? Just you're moving heavy stuff. It's never ending work. So with the World Series of Butchering or the Butcher Challenge, what were some things that you learned during the experience? Like how many teams were there?
13 countries.
13. Well, were you just kind of focused on yourself and your guys' team, or was there anything that you seen like going around?
Yeah, I mean, leading up to it, we're just, practicing, and we're doing our best to kind of hone in our skills and know exactly what we're doing the day of. And I never really pay attention to any other country. It's never been my thing, nor has it been anyone else on the team. We thought from day one, just worry about ourselves, stick to what we do in America, stick to American style butchery, like the practicality, the beauty of it. And so when we came out that day, we did everything we came out to do. Like we finished in time. We had every protein put out there.
What's the time limit that you guys get?
Usually it's 3 hours and 15 minutes, but they added 15 minutes this time, so it's 3.5 hours. The biggest mistake by far that we made, so there's a table that every country has. It's the same dimensions, same size. We hung our sausages behind the table, and so we had we had a background, and we had these hooks on the background. That's part of our display. We hung our sausages on those hooks, but the sausages weren't touching the display table. So we got docked. Yeah, so we got docked points for that. Makes total sense. That went right past us. Like we didn't think about it at the time because we thought it looked cool hanging on the racks, and it still looks great. But that cost us a few points, and totally makes sense, right? That looking back, it was foolish. We should have had everything on the table, so that cost us some points. But after we were done, we got to walk around and look at every country's display. And I mean, boy, they were just amazing. Just every single country had something different, and just the talent and the showcase that everybody put on was pretty spectacular. And it's evolved every year, and just from what we saw in Belfast to here, is the level of skill and the level of creativity has increased since Belfast. So you want to place top three, you better be on your game, and you better do something that nobody else does. I think it's just very important to stick to what you do in your country, but do it well. And yeah, it's pretty fascinating. But
what are some things that kind of stood out to you on the displays that you've seen from some of the other countries?
You know, just the detail work in general is pretty spectacular. There's a lot of these countries. See, we don't do a lot of value adding and garnishing in the United States. Like when I've made some absolute stellar stuff over the years and put it in the case, and people will look at it and they're like, "What is it?" And I'll explain it to them, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that's cool." They don't buy it, and then they go, "Give me a tri-tip or give me 2 ribeyes and a pound of ground beef." But a lot of other countries, there's a lot of other countries that do a lot of pastry work. So we don't do a lot of pastry work here. I mean, the amount of pastry work we do here is like here at Taylor's, we do chicken pot pies, and that's about it. But the pastry work is unbelievable from other countries. There's a lot of usage of caul fat, which I'm a big fan of. But just the detail and work, just every single country has something different, and it's just awesome to see. So I wish I could. Well, one day it will happen because I won't compete every year, but I would like to just sit and watch other countries and watch them work as a team because we got our head down the whole time.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can imagine. Yeah, that's tough. And, but yeah, like you said, I think it's probably different what goes in the case and then what a judge likes, right? It's kind of like a barbecue competition.
Yeah.
Everyone wants something that tastes different, so it's kind of depending on the region or like a comedian, right?
Sure.
I don't know how many judges were judging. Were they from different countries?
So there's 13 judges. There's a judge for every country, but you can't judge your own country.
Okay.
So the USA judge, he cannot come over and he cannot judge our team.
Okay. So whoever won, they're the ones that had these crazy detail displays. Have you seen those kind of displays or details that they did to their layout? Have you seen it before?
Yeah, I mean, I have. Of course, social media has kind of brought everybody together, and people can showcase their stuff on Instagram and take pictures, and you can look at all that. So people that like to showcase their talent and their there's guys out there that do a lot of value adding or garnishing. There's the guys that do whole animal butchery where they're breaking down a hind quarter and they're going to show you all their different ways, or a hog or whatever. But most of that I've seen before. I just think the top 3 teams were, let's see, Germany was number 1, Australia was number 2, and New Zealand was number 3. Australia and New Zealand were the first 2 countries that started the whole thing. So the bet was between Australia and New Zealand. So they've been doing it from day one in the World Butcher Challenge, and they have a little advantage there just because
like Brazil.
They've been doing it for quite some time for the competition. They did a stellar job, and it shows every year. You could tell they've done this quite often. And then Germany just knocked it out of the park. I mean, they had awesome sausages. Their display was spot on, but they utilized a lot, and I think the rankings that and the placings, the placements of every team was very accurate, and the judges did a good job. So we got 9th out of 13th. Obviously, we wanted to do better, and it took me a couple of weeks to kind of let that settle, but the more I thought about it, it was very accurate. So actually the night of the competition, actually not the night, it was the night after the competition, after that, the gala dinner, when we knew we didn't place top 3, I went home and I wrote 2 pages of notes of stuff that I learned again that I can do better and that we can do better as a team, and the things I saw. So um, I don't know. It's pretty fascinating.
So what I was going to say about Brazil is, you know how Brazil's the birthplace of jiu-jitsu, and they were killing it forever. I don't know if you follow jiu-jitsu or not.
I don't know.
But recently, there's a team out of New York. The coach is Coach John Donaher. Now they're in Austin, and it's this 24-year-old kid who's just dominating everybody. You know, and his name is Gordon Ryan, and he even bets like, you know what, I want to go against these heavyweights from Brazil that have never lost, and he's like, I'm putting $100,000. You put your 10 or whatever.
Wow.
He's that confident from years and years. That's all he did. You know, he was broke. You know, he would take the subway, and now he's like one of the best ones. And I think it's kind of the same thing for the United States, right? You're seeing all this amazing stuff, and you're learning from it.
Yeah.
Because how many times has the United States competed in this? Twice.
This is our second time. Yeah.
See, so it's like, you know, Austria and New Zealand have it for now, but they're just kind of demonstrating what the U.S. can do and will do. I'm pretty sure in the future, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, we you know, we're definitely behind hundreds of years in history behind butchering. I mean, a lot of the country's been doing this a lot longer than us, but we're definitely catching up pretty fast, and we're getting people's attention. And this country has many talented butchers, men and women, and there's some, you know, there's people out there that are, you know, 16, 17-year-old working with their family that are amazing butchers already. You know, then you got those random people that aren't on social media that are too busy to take a picture. They're too busy to take a video, or don't have social media, or, you know, no following, and people that are just incredibly talented that we'll never know. That's what makes this whole thing kind of cool. But yeah, it's exciting to see where it's going to go from here. And I think we're on the right track. We keep learning stuff, and just when you think you have it, you know, you get hit in the gut, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, we made mistakes. At the end of the day, we're just butchers, right? We just cut meat, and you're cutting on a large stage. I mean, that was that Golden One. I mean, Golden One holds 17,000 people. They had close to 2,000 people that day, which is not bad. But again, we're butchers. We're in aprons. You know, we gotta, you know, we work at a you know, a lot of these guys work in retail shops or custom exempt, or they do slaughter. There's you know, people that a lot of us weren't in this trade to do this competition. Yeah, we did it way before all of this. You know, me personally, when I first started cutting meat, I didn't do it to become famous. I didn't do it to be rich. I didn't do it to be a rock star. I didn't do it because I knew I was going to compete. I did it because I liked it and I enjoyed cutting meat. So,
but I think there's a reason you're getting kind of this attention, Paul, because you love what you do. You put your whole effort into it, and it's something that was dying that's beginning to come back to life, you know, and that's what we need. We need examples like you to show, you know, what's possible, that, like, you know, you can take pride in your work and get compensated with it. Maybe not right now, but I think with time, like, it's just, you have a skill that not many people have. Like, to me, I always see, you know, everyone has something special. And like you said, you know, I'm busy all day. I don't have time to do social media, because it's a waste of fucking time. Yeah, but
it's a lot.
Unfortunately, it's like, it's kind of needed to kind of grow that industry and put eyes that you don't see that stuff, because I don't think you're going to see that at like Sam's Club or Costco. You know, everything comes in boxes, and it's a different thing. And I just think slowly somebody will work with you, or somebody's going to come around and just showcase. Like, you could sell your videos, I think, with time, because I mean, you're the team captain of the American team. Yeah, you have value there. You have experience. You have a lot of knowledge that people don't have. Just like jiu-jitsu practitioners sell their videos. Yeah, I'm sure with time there'll be something there for you to sell it. Like,
well, for the last team, I was the vice captain. Okay. Danny was the captain, but he's not going to do it anymore.
Did Danny do it this year?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So he was the captain, I was the vice captain, and then so we'll see what happens for the next 3 years. See what happens.
Well, I mean, I know it's a lot because you guys were getting ready for before COVID, then took 2 years, and then I mean, it's just to compete is a miracle, you know, and to be able to be out there and showcase everything. Do you know if the challenge is on YouTube, if people can watch it and everything?
Yeah, you can go to YouTube. Just type in World Butcher Challenge 2022.
Okay.
But yeah, it's because they live streamed it, but it is all on YouTube. And then like you can definitely go to worldbutcherchallenge.com and check them out, and it will go over the history of the World Butcher Challenge. It will go over all the countries, who's won, who's competed. But that's a good website to go to. Check that out, and then definitely YouTube, and then just go to World Butcher Challenge 2022.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Paul? Anything on your mind? Anything you want to kind of?
So we are part of the Butchers of America, and we're a nonprofit organization, and I kind of want to promote that a little bit and talk about it. So the world, it's butchersofamerica.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that will show you who's on our team now. Goes over our team history. It goes over, we have a lot of merchandise. Kind of talks about what we're about. We're just promoting the trade, and we're trying to let everybody know that if you're a butcher in America, you're part of Butchers of America, our team. And so we just want people to reach out to us if they ever have any questions. You can reach out to butchersofamerica.com, and you can email. But we're trying to spread the word. I want people to try out next time for the next competition. Like I said, we're looking for 2 apprentice butchers, 2 young butchers. Men and women of all ages are all welcome to try out. And like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to probably submit videos first. And we're going to want to know why you want to be a butcher. Why do you want to be a butcher for this team? And we're looking for all different skill levels, and we're just excited that because we just started the Butchers of America, so this is very new. So this country's large, and there's very many talented people, but for them to reach out to us, that'd be appreciated. And just keep a watch out by Butchers of America on Instagram too, because when we do have tryouts, we're going to be posting a lot, so we do want everybody. I mean, just look how large California is. There's so many butchers here, but I mean, you go through Texas, and you got New York, and you got Florida. I mean, there's just butchers all around the place. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, I appreciate this. This is awesome. It's always nice seeing you doing stuff like this, but I know that you care about the trade and food and stuff like this, what we're talking about. So
yeah, I wish crypto was up so I could donate. It's really down right now.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna shoot up here, but you never know. I'm a big proponent of crypto, and it's just, for me, it's an insurance against inflation and everything that's going on. And we'll see. I mean, I even told Paul here that I'll have an office here maybe January in Roseville, so. Wow. Maybe he could have a podcast, and he's more than welcome to just show up, talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
Get some stuff off my chest.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, why not? Because sometimes you need that, sometimes you have, things you want to say, you're experiencing things, and you're a real person. You're a hard worker. You're a family man. And these are the examples that, like, people need to see, and people can relate to, because a lot of people, I think, just point and look and think that everyone's well off and everyone's doing good. And,
sure.
And I think everyone's struggling, and people are getting by, and times are tough, and things are getting expensive. And we need to learn how to come more together and understand that, hard work, and we have more in common than we have to separate us, you know? And I think that's what we need more is more people like Paul, and I'm more than happy to even come here and record and just be behind the cameras and not do anything to help in whatever way I can, Paul.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, these are definitely tough times, right? I mean, Some people will admit it, and some people won't. You know, like it's people will say that they're happy and they'll post stuff on social media and look how good my life is, but you start peeling back the layers on a lot of people, and there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of struggle, and you know, every single person, every single family has it, but that's life, and it's, you know, it's always been what I've always been taught. It's how you react to it. It's how you react to issues, you know. And so I've always done my best to react to things in a way where keep your head up and, you know, you keep moving forward. And yeah, my biggest thing's always just been my family. 12-hour shift to me is like maybe 7 or 8. Yeah. So it's not too bad at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody. And thank you, Paul.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.